welcome back to 3 Acre Homestead. Glad to have you here. Today we're going to talk about breakfast, big batch breakfast. But first I got a box from Haas Tools. I thought we would open it up together. And I use these scissors for boxes and outside stuff. I don't use it for anything on the inside because they're kind of beat up. And you know, this box has been all over from Haas Tools in the mail, and so I have different kinds of scissors for different things. And what we have are Minnesota certified seed potatoes. So these are Cannabecs. This is the first gardening things that have come in so far. Then we have some Yukon Gold. These are 5 pounds each. And the third one is the Red Norland potatoes. 5 pounds each. We'll chit them later, closer to planting season, which is around Mother's Day. So that was a fun thing to get in the mail. Okay, now we're going to start on that breakfast. I did a little bit of prepping, but first I always start my potatoes because that's what the first thing I prep are potatoes. Again, I'm using my Mueller chopper, and so that I get the best consistency and cut size. This one has some green on it. I don't know if you can see it in the camera. It's just slightly had some green right here. And what that is a chemical called solanine. It's created from the chlorophyll that the potatoes make when they're exposed to sun. It is a toxin. It causes GI upset. That doesn't mean you have to throw out the whole potato. We're just going to take that little green stuff and see what's underneath there. See now, where the green is where the solanine is concentrated. But you just get rid of that solanine and it is good to go. Sometimes on my growing potatoes, when they're green, I just save them for seed potatoes for the following year, because that's free seed potatoes. Because sometimes they get really green. So for this breakfast, I don't normally skin the potatoes, as you saw here. Woo, something just flew by. Because the skin has the most nutrients in it than the rest of the potato, the vitamins and minerals. So I do like to keep the skins on. We're just gonna chop these up. And just like that, we have a big bowl, relatively the same size diced potatoes. They'll be okay to the air for the time it takes to prep some of the rest of these vegetables. I'm not measuring anything at all. I'm just prepping. Let's see, we're gonna do some bell pepper. Some of these ingredients I actually did purchase for a different recipe, and I haven't had time to make them. It was our grandson's 7th birthday yesterday. So we were at his house celebrating him. So I feel like I need to go ahead and use them up. I love all these ingredients in my food, or my eggs. The only complaint I would have about this device is cleaning this part out, or this part. Food gets all stuck down in there, and it's kind of hard to get out sometimes. If you have any helpful hints. It did come with a brush and a little thing that you can use for in between those grid lines, but it's just still can take a minute to clean it. So right quick now, we've got our red pepper. We're going to put a whole onion in here. I like onion. We also have a thing of these mushrooms that I was gonna put in my soup. They are starting to look like they need to be used up. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw them in with my eggs. I love mushrooms and just about any and everything. It's a little large. For some people, they may be able to slice and dice quicker without a fancy machine. Well, not that this is fancy, but I think this is quick. It'd be nice to have one with a little bit larger surface area. They probably make them, but this is what I have. So like that, we have our onion chopped and diced. Okay. Now I'm gonna put some celery in there. Again, fresh celery, may as well. I've washed it and kind of cut off the ends a little bit. Somebody once said you don't, I think it was Rachel Ray actually, said you don't really have to wash celery, but sometimes it still has dirt down in the ribs, so I like to wash mine. I just judge, I'm not measuring anything again. I just decided 3, 4 of these look like a good amount. Making these eggs a little more hearty. And then for the carrots, we're gonna grate our carrots. Some of the celery looked a little rough. Pick it out. And we have our compost bowl here. Go out to the birds. I don't know if they eat celery. We lost a bird, a chicken, to a possum the other night. We couldn't get the door closed because of the ice had frozen over, and we got discovered by a possum, which is very unfortunate. Scoot this stuff over. I'm gonna use a grater. Again, I went ahead, washed these off, and got the ends cut off of them. I don't want big chunks of carrots in there. That's why I'm not chopping them, because I just feel like it'll be a larger flavor profile. I'm not really looking to have a big carrot profile in this dish. I'm looking more to use them for some extra vegetables. But just like that, we have 4 carrots grated. Kind of looks like it might be a little too much, and if it is, you know what? I'm gonna turn it into a fun little carrot salad for a lunch or something, because it's that much. That just looks like a lot more than what I probably planned on doing. So I'll break some of these in half, because once they're cooked, they're just a little bit too large for me, in my liking. Okay, now let's test this pan and see if it's hot enough. You just put a little water on your fingers, splash it in, and you hear that steam coming up. That means you're ready to go. Goodness, I left a spoon in here from last time I cooked with this stuff. I'm gonna turn it down just a little bit, because we're almost. This is our aioli we made a couple years ago. I made it. It's infused with garlic. So use a good amount. And then I'm gonna saute up our onions and vegetables a little bit, and then I'll throw the potatoes in there and give a good fry on those. And while all of that is cooking, we will start preparing the eggs. I'm gonna wait on the mushrooms a minute too. I don't want to overcook those. Smells good already. I'm going to add a pinch of salt. I'm going to do a teaspoon to start, maybe 2 teaspoons. So the cracked black pepper. And we're just going to let this saute a minute. We're using a stainless steel Cuisinart pan today. I really like it. It's easy to clean out. I use different pans for just whatever I'm in the mood to use that day. Okay, we're going to start cracking eggs. And these are my farm fresh eggs. Aren't they beautiful? There you go. Sorry about that. They're the different colors because we have they're called Easter eggers. It's a breed, or Americanas is the real name for those type of birds. And they lay different colored eggs. They can be pink, blue, green. Looks like we're predominantly green this time. So I probably have more egg than I do, more vegetable than I do eggs in my, but it's enough protein, lots of vitamins and minerals. If I knew that these were a couple weeks old, I would crack each one in a different bowl, because every once in a while, especially in summertime, you'll crack an egg and it has gone a little bad, and that would ruin your whole bowl of eggs if you cracked 6 of them and then you crack that one rotten one in there. You get to start over. I think I'm going to add all the rest of the eggs I have. I'm going to change my mind on that. And back, we can get way too many eggs sometimes, especially in the summertime. My birds never quit laying in the winter. I'm not sure what is the difference. A lot of birds do. Okay, I'm going to throw in our potatoes. And we're going to get all that nice and fried up. Doesn't that look good? You see the amount this is? That's why I'm going to do some more potatoes. That's simply 12 is not going to be enough. And then at the end, we'll figure out how many breakfasts we have. And I'll wrap them up in individual servings with saran wrap, throw them in a bag, and freeze them. And then every Sunday afternoon when it's time to get ready for the work week, I'll pull 4 of them out. And I have my breakfast ready. I'll put them in the refrigerator. On my days off, I tend not to eat these. I take a break from it. Feather. Now with the real hard cold spell we've just recently had, we had a lot of frozen eggs. Sometimes I'll thaw and give them to the doctor. I'll thaw them a little bit and give them to the dog. I just don't care to cook with them. I don't know why. And I know I have some eggs out in the barn right now because we were out of town yesterday and we got home after dark. I didn't want to go out there and get them. I'll wash the egg off my fingers. So what I do for these is eyeball salt, and we'll do another taste, towards the end. Good, good. I always let this cool down a little bit before I put it all together. Okay, is all I add to my eggs. I don't add milk or anything else really to get them nice and fluffy. Is just to beat air into them, a lot of air. So I'm just breaking up the yolks right now. I like to use this old-fashioned beater. I don't need to get out a big beater for this. An emulsion blender would probably work really good. I'm going to try that sometime. I've not tried it. I don't know what brand it is. It was just an Amazon buy. I don't know if you can see it. I'm getting lots of good air in here. And that's what's going to make them nice and fluffy. Once we get our potatoes just about done, I cook everything al dente because I'm going to have to reheat it with my planovers, and I don't want them to be mushy when I go to reheat. But I cook them most of the way through. This thing's pretty handy. The only thing, it's kind of hard to clean in the middle, but I do have a dishwasher brush. Here the potatoes getting a little louder, so we're going to give it a stir. Scraping up some of the umami on the bottom of the pan, give it some good flavor. Got some leapers leaping right out of the pan. No, that's really just me being messy. Work on these a little more. I just see a little bit of egg yolk still not totally busted up. Because these are farm fresh eggs. They're free-ranging chickens and ducks. Some of those were duck eggs, by the way. It has a beautiful yellow color. I bet I could add in these mushrooms now. Look at all that. I'll just keep that for our carrot salad. That'll be fine. So while our potatoes are cooking, we're going to go ahead and whip up this salad. I went ahead and put them in a bowl already. I'm going to just add some raisins to them. I think this many is what I have left, and that'll take care of these raisins. Might make 2 raisin salads. And we'll chop up an apple. I'll probably use my cuber thing for these. So just like that, we have a surprise. So just like that, we have a surprise, unexpected side dish for lunch or dinner. And then I'm going to just throw some mayonnaise in here. Again, I'm not measuring. I only will use real Hellmann's or make my own. Making your own doesn't last as long, but it's very flavorful. Better for you. There's no preservatives in it like this, so again, it doesn't last as long, but it's better. And it helps me use up some of my eggs. Let's do a little taste test. That's going to be good. That's very good already. I'm going to add a pinch of salt. Good. Give our potatoes a stir. I'm going to be the only one tasting it, so yes, I used the same spoon to taste and stuck it right back in the dish. I'm not serving anybody else's dish. Just me. My husband, I don't think will eat it. If I'm cooking for people and I know someone else is going to be eating this, I do not double dip. But for this dish, and it's a right quick little side dish, double dipped it got. Okay, I think we're ready to add those eggs in. I'll bring you in closer. Is that a good view for you? We're going to pour these. Oh, got a few yolks that didn't get busted. Okay. There's a little eggshell. I'm not putting it in. And I just scramble these up. in less than an hour, we're gonna count together how many breakfasts we'll have in the freezer. And a surprise side dish, bonus carrot salad. These potatoes are, here's one, fork will stick in it. That's good, perfect amount of salt. And it has just enough texture still in it. Still cooking a little bit here, and it'll cook a little bit as it cools down, so I think it's gonna be perfect. I also undercooked the eggs slightly for the same reason. This is too undercooked, but call this a healthy breakfast morning breakfast egg scramble. So I am putting together these the scrambled egg scramble that we made, and I went ahead and did some because you don't want to sit here for however long it takes to put these in a package. So I just tear off some saran wrap. I'm not measuring. I'm not measuring the portion size, just what feels good to me. And then I wrap them up airtight. So this saran wrap is folded on itself. So I try to squeeze out as much air as I can. And I just fold it over like that. Stack them up. These are not cool all the way, but they are cool enough where I can handle them and start getting them packaged up. And most days I love clementine oranges with my breakfast, so I will eat a clementine with a serving of this egg scramble. And that is my breakfast on my work days. I have already dished up 4 servings for this week's breakfast, so I'm not wasting saran wrap. And then I just do this. You could always, if you're super hungry, eat 2 of these, or if one of the pucks isn't big enough, you can, usually what I do right here is just perfect for my breakfast. Good healthy fat for the brain. And then what I do, so far we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks worth of food. So 16 so far, and we might get 2 more out of it. Richard forgets these are in the freezer, so he doesn't ever eat them. So this last little bit here, I'm just going to throw in one of these bowls. Kiska's in here. She found that stuff I dropped earlier today. She's already cleaned that up for me. I am going to put this bowl on the floor and let her clean it up for me, and then I'll wash it with some hot soap and water. I don't know if any of y'all do that with your pets. It may gross you out. I don't know. I'm fine with it though. And this is our last puck. So we got 17 beautiful breakfasts and the surprise carrot salad. So when I go to put all this in the freezer, I will dig out some lunch, whatever I've got in there for lunch this week. And I do put all of these in a reused Ziploc bag just so I don't have little pucks of eggs all over the freezer. And that way I just reuse them. I'm not worried about them being freezer worthy or whatever. I'm just wanting to keep them together and contained in one spot. Again, thank you. If you please would press like and subscribe, leave me comments,
I would really appreciate it. And if you watch this to the end, I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. Have a good day.